I myself have listened to a lot of music over my lifetime, and in the probably hundreds to thousands of albums I've listened to, there's gonna be some bad ones, unfortunately. Now, these are albums that I have listened to. These are my worst albums, or the albums that I've listened to that I think are the worst and deserve to be on this Topster. If you don't know what a Topster is, it's a 5x5 chart. So 25 songs. So these albums are the worst albums that I have listened to probably ever. I might have forgot a few, but I'm pretty sure I haven't. These albums are pretty memorable for the wrong reason. I also just want to include, these are all my opinions. If you like these albums, then good on you. These are solitarily my opinions, so please don't get mad at me. I'm just a little itty bitty guy. I'm a banana, I'm a banana. To start off, I think there's only really one good way to do it, which is probably the worst album I've ever voluntarily listened to, and that would be Onision's I'm a Banana. Now, if you don't know who Onision, you are blessed, and your life is probably going very well. I'm gonna bring you down to our level in case you don't know who Onision is. Pretty infamous guy. Hasn't done the best of stuff. And along with not doing the best of stuff, he also makes music. And you may know him from his hits, 2011 song, I'm a Banana. Now, this is not made in 2011, this was made in 2019, I believe. But this album is 1 hour and 20 minutes, and it's full of the most unfunny, hard to listen to, just junk garbage ever. Some moments in this with that are so cringe and make you just want to curl up into a fucking ball. For some reason, this album just goes from a silly banana song where he sings about being a banana to trying to make a funny song about being groomed. It's yeah.
You need the egg roll? I bring the egg roll. You eat the egg roll.
I kind of want to get all the funny, comedic album ones out of the way that aren't very funny at all. And another one of these in the same sort of category is Rucka Rucka Ali. In general, if you've been on the internet, you've probably heard the guy. His comedy is a style of let me be racist. I'm gonna be very racist, and it's funny. It's funny, now you laugh. This is his most popular album, called Everything is Racist. Like Onision, it's him saying the worst shit possible and hoping it'll come off as being funny. It's just not a funny listen. It just makes you want to curl up in a ball. He sings in this really high whiny tone, and it just makes your ears want to bleed. You can probably see to the left of the actual Topster just all the other shit that comes up when you search up his name. So this next one is it's gonna be a pretty short one because there's not too much to explain about it. It's Bull of Heaven. If you don't know who Bull of Heaven is, makes lots of noisy stuff, pretty much. That's the best I can describe the guy. But the album that really sticks out to me is the 287 album. I'm not kidding when I say this album is 3 trillion years, yes, 3 trillion of just noise, of just one singular noise going on and on and on for 3 trillion years. This album, if you played it from when it starts to when it finishes, the Earth would have exploded and the solar system would have probably collapsed by the time this album is finished. How he managed to do that, I have no fucking clue. But look it up yourself. It is genuinely 3 trillion years long. Editing me here. To download the full thing, it is an insane amount of storage. It is 1.2 zettabyte. And if you don't know what a zettabyte is, it's about 1 trillion gigabytes. And trying to uncompress it from the file can literally break your computer. Anyway, I thought that was just a fun fact. Back to the video. But who the fuck is going to listen? Like, what? Who is this for? It's just him. Like, I don't. Who is this meant for? What are you trying to prove in doing this? If you're in like the disturbing music sort of like genre sphere, you probably have heard of this album. It's one that is very infamous, and if you never heard it, it's Peter Sodos's Buyer's Market. And the reason it is so infamous is because it is just a collection of audio like recordings of children explaining it's children explaining like assaults that have happened on them and sexual assaults and like interrogation, like audio footage, and that's the entire album. And the thing that is baffling about this album is Steve Albini produced this. Why he did, I have no clue. I'm not sure how you would even produce this, considering it is literally just audio clips, but that just baffles me to this day. And if you don't know who Peter Sodos is, he's a pretty infamous guy in himself. Was arrested for having some certain material, I believe in the 80s, and then joined noise band White House, which in themselves are pretty infamous. Some people like this album because I think it sends like a message that needs to be discussed. Peter Sodos is not the man in his right to discuss the themes of this album. For a man who was arrested for having certain material, he is not the man to deliver this message at all. He is not the right guy. And putting it in an album like this is not the right way to deliver the message about child exploitation.
I was a bad girl. I did some bad things.
Next up is a new one, and one I imagine most people will know about by now, but it's the new JoJo Siwa, I believe, not EP, LP, Guilty Pleasure. I don't know why I listened to this the whole way through, but it's safe to say it is just the most like radio washed, like Hollywood sphere washed pop music I've ever heard. There is nothing good about this. There is nothing special about this. It sounds like everything else that comes up on the radio. JoJo Siwa does not really know what the fuck she is doing, but it's just the most like industry washed fucking garbage ever. It's just garbage pop that is meant for the radio, meant for white mums to bop in their like 2001 Nissan X-Trail.
When all the critics told you Pink Floyd's wall was shite.
If you've ever been in the sphere of like horrendous like music, you've probably heard of this one, and that one is or Doug Walker or the Nostalgia Critics, The Wall. It's a comedy album, big quotation marks in comedy. It's meant to be funny, but it ends up being the most unfunny piece of complete garbage you will ever listen to. Again, sort of in the vein of like Onision and Rocka Rocka Ali. Yeah, for some reason there's a lot of these with YouTubers. Not sure, YouTubers had one job, and that was to make YouTube videos. So they failed that job. Again, it's just another one of those albums one of those comedy albums that is the furthest thing away from funny possible. I'm not sure how you can make something that's meant to be funny this unfunny.
Listen, these hoes just want your mention.
This is also a pretty like popular one, and that is Lil Xan's Total Xanarchy. This album, if I could describe it, would be man very much on drugs and alcohol, gets on a mic and just goes over a rap beat. That is pretty much what this album is. Why he thought it would be a good idea to release this, I have zero clue. I could not tell you. It is just mumble rap, but like it's not even mumbling at this point. It's just drugged out rap. This was clearly just like something that like his producers or like his agent was probably like, yo, we need to make an album, because he had all this hype around this time as well. Oh, we need to pump out this album as soon as possible. We're just gonna get you on a mic, get some like royalty-free fucking beat, get some weird producer to make some like default song beat, and you're just gonna rap over it, and then whatever you produce, we're just gonna put out, and it's gonna be successful anyway because you're Little Xan. If you don't know who Tiny Tim is, you would definitely know some of his songs. If I'll play a snippet of one like around about now. Yeah, so Tiny Tim was the guy who made that song. He has the high voice and stuff. Yeah, no, that guy. He made a rock album. In specifically, he made a cover rock album of popular rock songs, and it's not very good. It's him going. He's not a good singer at all, really. Sorry, Tiny Tim, but he isn't a rock singer. He goes between like this shitty like rock voice or like the low voice, and then he just goes from, in all the tracks, it's just him going through this weird like rock voice he's trying to force up into that high octave, like, is it falsetto? I think it's falsetto. I know that might be the low one. I can't really remember. But it's him just going between those two voices. And it's just a pain to the ears. And that's all this album is. It's just covers of famous rock songs with him going. Again, this is a recent one. This one actually I think came out this year. But MGK, he's quite a talked about figure. A lot of his like live stuff, like covers of like System of a Down recently, have gone viral just because of how shit they are. Obviously transitioned over to emo metal from rock, like a few years ago. Recently this year he decided, I'm getting a bunch of hate and I'm not getting good, my albums aren't getting much praise. Who could I bring on to bolster like all the critic ratings up? Yes, Trippie Redd, someone who hasn't released a good album in like 6 years. That's where genre sad boy comes in. It's very MGK in the way that it's just badly done, generic rock. Like this genre of rock he's doing now should have been buried under sand. Well, yeah, it was buried under sand like 20 years ago. And of course it has to be the former rapper MGK that brings this type of rock back into the limelight. I might get some hate for this one because some people actually reckon this is like top peak metal. This is probably one you haven't heard of before, but it's Torture with For Enduring Freedom. If you've never heard of Torture, it's slam death metal with just a guy. It's just a guy making frog noises over it. And some people think this is like the best shit ever. I guess without the guy making frog noises in the background, it would probably just be like okay metal. But like, for the life of me, I can't see what the loud, low frog noises do anything for this. And every song is the same. Every song on this album sounds the exact same. All the instrumentals sound the exact same. And it's just the guy making the frog noises over it. That's the entire album. And this album gets praised, by the way. How? I don't fucking know. This is another one you may know if you know about the sphere of like generally like agreed upon shit music. It's Kid Rock with the album Bad Reputation. Now, Kid Rock being the right wing cowboy hootin' truck driving guy he is, decides, let me make a song for the people of America. Let me make a song about how this generation is mentally ill and things were so good back then. It's just a bad right-wing like propaganda. That's all this album is. I'm so glad I do not live in America. This album has some bad lyricism, like bad lyricism. The one I always point to, or there's the two, there's a song about like the We Are the People, and it has like the We Are the People chant, and it's just him saying that like this generation is just fucking horrible. And then there's the song about him getting old. Such great lines as I think I just shit my pants. This is another one people may hate me for because people think this is like this album like makes them feel a certain way, and if you do, then good on you. But I just don't get it, and that is Pulse Demon. It's loud noise for a long time, and I listened to a fair bit of power electronica and stuff. I don't get this. there is nothing, like, there's nothing that hits me about this at all. If it's someone who can hear like a bunch of loud noises and be like, this is amazing, I am that guy. I don't get this album at all. And people think this is like, fucking amazing. I don't get it. It just sounds like noise for the point of noise for me. If you've never heard of Unicorn on Ketamine, can't believe those 3 words just came out of my mouth. I'm pretty sure he's actually pretty popular on TikTok, the guy. It's dubstep, but just with the distortion and like the gain slider all the way to the top. And people think this is like great festival music somehow. But the one I listened to was the Tarzan EP. Love the cover, by the way. And it's not even good dubstep. It's shit dubstep that's just really loud. And people think this is like, or this is like people think this is like, this is an amazing invention. I can't believe something so like out of the box is being created. No, it's been done before. It's just dubstep, but really loud and distorted. Again, why? Why do people actually listen to this? I don't get it. Please tell me. This is another recent one that got a fair bit amount of traction for just how shit it was. And that was, I believe it's the recently, I believe they haven't released anything since then, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a fucking good thing. But that's the Black Eyed Peas Elevation. Now I'm guessing most people would know who the Black Eyed Peas is. I guess for like mums and like 50-year-old dads, they're probably the best band ever. But for the most part, people have never really had the best like view on the Black Eyed Peas. Don't get me wrong, they have some bangers in there. I've Got a Feeling is a banger, don't get me wrong. But this album, I believe they like rejoined or some shit without Fergie. That national anthem, man. Black Eyed Peas of my childhood, I listened to this and I was just depressed. I was just like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, again, some of the lyrics on this thing, I can't remember exactly, but I know one of them started like, holy fucking fuck, that body of yours is absurd. Any originality they had just goes out the fucking drain. It just sounds like everything. Lyricism's horrible. This is another one that you should just listen to, just for the fact you can point fun at it. So this one's gonna be a bit of a off the wall one, no pun intended. Can and Right Time. You may know Can if you're in the internet music like sphere. They made like Tago Mago and Future Days. Their earlier stuff with Damo Suzuki, beautiful stuff, like really good stuff. Even before that, they had a separate guy, I forgot his name, Malcolm Mooney, I think it was. This is their last ever album. They reunited to make one last album, and it fucking sucked. Malcolm Mooney sounds like a dying dog over the entirety of this thing. He sounds like he can't take a full breath of air for his fucking life. This sounds like bland, like prog rock with a dying dog over it. It is genuinely that bad. I don't know how it went that wrong. Is it like the worst thing ever compared to the rest of this album? No. But it is just that bad. Like, it's no Onision, but still, like, from a band that good, how does that happen?
I got bars, fucking cars, aeroplanes, deep massage.
Okay, it's time for the Tones and I section. Tones and I obviously blew up from that song Dance Monkey. Like, a whole different discussion on how bad that song is in of itself. But Into the Madhouse, it's overproduced garbage. And it's overproduced and it still sounds horrible. The singing still sounds horrible. The voice still sounds horrible. And I've always been kind of like this, but people diss Tones and I for her voice. I don't think her voice is that bad. Yeah, people think it's like she sounds like whatever. I don't think it's that bad, but the production on this does not help her at all. It just sounds super rushed and just like a corporate money grab. That's all this album is. This is another more of an unknown one, but I'm going to have to censor the shit out of this. But it's Last of Humanity with their album Putrefaction in progress. This is gore grind, and if you've never heard of gore grind, it's just like grindcore, but I guess it like sounds gory, and I think it's mainly is called gore grind because usually the album covers are just gore. They're just plain gore. And look, I don't have a problem with like gory album covers. I like Gnaw Their Tongues. That has some of their album covers are pretty fucked. This is just loud, overwhelming, complete. Fucking get my headset off of me as soon as it starts playing. There is nothing fun about this. There is nothing interesting about this. It just makes you want to say no. It is just not good grindcore. Usually there's some, if you're gonna do grindcore, there needs to be some sort of interesting element about it. This just immediately just wants, this is just, it's just loud for the point of being loud. There's nothing else to it. It's just really shit grindcore.
Most of y'all don't know this, but my man Tupac came to me in a dream. Told me the game is mine.
If you've been on YouTube, you probably know who Dax is. I believe he had like some sort of beef with KSI a few years ago. He made that one song with fucking Deji out of everyone. If you're more into like this age, you probably know him for being like a right wing. He made like songs with like Adam Calhoun and people about being like, oh, our children are this, that, blah, I don't care. But one of his earlier projects is Tupac Reincarnation Volume 2. In no way or form is this man Tupac. The ego this man must have to think he is a reincarnation of Tupac. And it's not just that, this album just sucks. It's just really shit rap music, like really stale rap music. For a guy that says he's the next Tupac, it's not going so well for him. He is on TikTok pretending to be the Joker and making songs with like Adam Calhoun and fucking Deji. It's not going too well. Falling in Reverse, I feel like there's not much I need to say about them, but like, just like a video game. Ronnie Radke. Polarizing figure to say the least. His new album with Falling in Reverse, Popular Monster. It's just him saying that everything anyone has to say on him is false. And this guy has some pretty serious stuff leveraged on him. He's not a good guy, okay, and it reflects in the music. Please do not stream this album. I'm going to get swarmed by Falling in Reverse fans.
That was when I was 6, that's when I got my fix. I learned to wheelie from watching some random YouTube vid.
Again, this one's probably not much of a surprise to most people, but Dream, to whoever wants to hear this, whoever wants to hear, it's just shit radio pop music. Like, Young Gravy isn't like a fucking miracle in himself, but even he can't add anything to the song, the one song he's in. That one Minecraft bar that he makes, holy shit, that is a fucking horrendous bar. It's just shitty pop music. This is like the Chop Chip Muesli Bar flavor of music. There's just nothing special about it, and that's what makes it so fucking horrendous. There's literally nothing to it. It's just really shit pop music. I listened to this album before the whole drama happened with this guy, but Joe Hawley, yeah. People think this is a really good album. I don't know how the fuck I listened to it, and I was like, this is bad. This is... compared to Tally Hall, like Tally Hall isn't like a miracle fucking thing either, but it's just really shit. It's not funny at all. It's just, yeah, this album still gets praised to this day, by the way. Somehow. I listened to it like a couple years ago, and I thought it was shit. It's just not funny. It's just really shitly done, like pop music again. Yeah, it deserves to be on this list.
Cause when I get kinda salty, I need some vitamin C.
I am putting this next one on here for one song. Yes, for one song. I mean, the whole album is pretty garbage anyway. Probably doesn't belong on this list. It's still pretty garbage. But that's Owl City's most recent album, Coco Moon. The song Vitamin C. Go out of your way and listen to it. It is the most horrendous pop song. It's the most corny, horrendous shit I've ever heard. I have a personal vendetta against that song. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that song, and it makes me just like all the rest of this album is shit anyway. It makes me just hate the rest of the album even fucking more. Please go out of your way, listen to that song, and just laugh at it. It is so fucking terrible. I hate it. It's so corny.
Wish I was a stone, so I couldn't feel. You'd yell in my face, it'd be no big deal.
I'm not usually the one to hop on the AJR hate bandwagon, but I do generally believe this album is just fucking bad. It is just bad. And that is the Maybe Man. AJR is like the epitome of trying new things, but just nothing working. Like, again, if you like AJR, good for you, but it's, from my perspective, it is just really shit. I'm not even sure what genre you would call it, like pop, I guess. It just, they try a bunch of new things, nothing works, it all sounds terrible, overproduced as shit, yeah.
Spit on your hand and stroke my cock at a medium pace.
What is the theme of comedians making comedy rap and comedy music? One of the worst I've ever heard is Adam Sandler with the they're all gonna laugh at you. Yeah, for the wrong fucking reason. Oh, got him. This album is not funny. I believe one of the songs from this album went viral on like TikTok like a couple years back. The certain one about a type of bird and doing certain actions with it. Again, it just makes you cringe in how unfunny it is. Yeah, but this one was so bad I couldn't even point and laugh at it. It was just like, I don't want to be anywhere near this. For the last one, I was originally gonna put Maury Calliope on here. I was like, shit, yeah, Maury Calliope gets enough hate at this point. I actually feel kind of bad. So instead, I'm gonna put Riff Raff on here. If you don't know Riff Raff for his music, you probably know him from that one video I'll play for like maybe like half a second up in like the top left corner of the screen. But the one I listened to is it's the Neon Icon by Riff Raff. And what stood out for me at this album, it has some features. Childish Gambino is on this thing somehow. I don't know how. He is though. Doesn't really make the song he's on any better. It's just Riff Raff rapping over stock beats, and he isn't a very good rapper. Fantano gave this a 50 somehow, but it's just bad rap. It's just bad shit rap, and even Childish Gambino can't save this. So yeah, I sort of did this as like something that wouldn't take too long. It's probably going to take longer than I think it's going to take. I hope you enjoyed my Topster of the shittest music I've heard. Again, this is my opinion. I have some questionable takes in this, so please don't take my takes as like a boundary thing. If you want to listen to any of this and stuff and enjoy it, go ahead. I don't really care. But yeah, these are my 25 worst albums I've listened to. This is my worst Topster.